Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So let's begin, right? So for those who have joined this for the first time, we have done 4 sessions before for the reading comprehension from the CSAT, right? And what we have been doing till now is we have been doing keyword-based analysis, okay? For instance, inference keyword hota hai, message, okay, crucial message, the crux of the passage. So we have been discussing these keywords. We have tried to understand the meaning of these keywords. And then हमने उसमें previous year questions solve किए हैं, mostly 2023, 22 and 21, right? So in continuation of those 4 sessions, today is the 5th session, जिसमें आज हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं assumption के बारे में, right? Because assumptions and crux and the crucial message, these were the major keywords जिस पे questions पूछे गए थे in the latest paper of 2023-24. Okay, so that's why we'll be focusing on the topic of assumptions today. We'll understand इसका मतलब क्या होता है and साथ ही साथ कुछ इससे related keywords है. For example, implications or the implied meaning. इन तीनों keywords को हम समझेंगे and 2023 के हम questions solve करेंगे, right? Okay. So at any point of time, if any of you have a doubt, you can raise your hand and then I'll let you speak. Okay. So assumptions, right? What is an assumption? Anybody? Assumption क्या होता है? Okay. Assumption एक unstated premise है as it is written, right? It is something which is not directly stated in the passage. Passage meaning अगर हम normally assumption को समझे, so it is something which is unstated, right? Which is not written explicitly, right? It is something जो कि आपके पूरे main passage के conclusion को या main passage को support करता है. That supports a conclusion, right? So without explicit mention in the passage, right? So basically इसके कुछ tricks होते हैं कि कैसे हम पता करेंगे कि assumption है या नहीं है कोई चीज, right? Yes, योगिता? Yes, you can tell me. Do you want to ask something?
मैम एजम्पशन मीन्स होता है हम पैसेज को देखकर ये समझ पाए कि इस पैसेज में क्या कहना चाह रहा है राइटर, उसको समझकर हमें क्या हो रहा है उसका मीनिंग।
True. ठीक है, बिल्कुल सही. एजम्पशन वो होगा जैसे हम पैसेज को समझ पाए, राइट? जो पैसेज में लिखी हुई चीजें हैं उसको पढ़ने के बाद हमें समझ में आ जाता है ना कि ऑथर क्या सोच रहे होंगे, क्या अज्यूम कर रहे होंगे, राइट? अगर मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि सीसैट पढ़ना जरूरी है, ठीक है, प्रीलिम्स क्लियर करने के लिए, तो कहीं ना कहीं मेरे पास एक एजम्पशन है क्योंकि सीसैट का रोल काफी इंपॉर्टेंट होता है आपके पूरे पेपर के एनालिसिस में, राइट? पूरे पेपर को क्लियर करने में. तो इफ आई एम सेइंग कि यहाँ पर अगर मैं अज्यूम कर रही हूँ दैट सीसैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट, right? Without CSAT, it is difficult to clear the prelims examination. तो ये मेरा assumption है. That's why I am saying कि CSAT करना चाहिए. Okay? That is assumption. जो एक behind the thought होता है, as Yogita said, same उस passage को या उस conversation को true होने के लिए. Okay? Now इसके tricks होते हैं कुछ कि कैसे हमें किसी भी comprehension में assumptions पता कैसे चलेंगे. See, look for gaps in the reasoning. Right? Assumptions are often the missing links. एक होती है argument की premise, ठीक है, premise in the sense कुछ stated facts, कुछ initiate, and then is the conclusion. इन दोनों के बीच में जो connection है, जो missing link है, that is assumption, right? Then there is implicit beliefs. What must be true for this argument to hold? Maximum time ना आपका ये वाला effect second and third काम करेगा, right? कि आप जो भी ऑप्शंस रीड करेंगे, ऑप्शंस को रीड करने के बाद आपको लगेगा कि ओके, व्हाट मस्ट बी ट्रू फॉर दिस आर्ग्यूमेंट टू होल्ड. आपने पैसेज पढ़ लिया, नाउ जब आप एजम्पशन पढ़ रहे होंगे देन यू विल फील कि यस, इस एजम्पशन को अगर मैं सही मानती हूँ तो मेरा जो मेन पैसेज का आर्ग्यूमेंट है वो ट्रू होगा, राइट? सेम ये वही है, उसका जस्ट अपोजिट है ये नेगेशन टेस्ट. अगर एजम्पशन, ठीक है, इफ नेगेटिंग अ स्टेटमेंट वीकन्स द आर्ग्यूमेंट, इट इज एन अजम्पशन. मतलब कि कोई स्टेटमेंट अगर लिखा हुआ है उसको अगर मैं नेगेट करती हूँ तो मेरा मेन पैसेज भी वीक हो रहा है, तो डेफिनेटली वो अजम्पशन है. बेसिकली सेकंड को एक दूसरे तरीके से देखने का इट्स अ टेस्ट, नेगेशन टेस्ट, राइट। एंड ये तो हमेशा काम करेगा कि बी वेरी ऑफ एक्सट्रीम चॉइसेस, like extreme words, always, never, completely, etc. This you can use in almost every keyword. सबसे पहली फिल्टरिंग आप अपने ऑप्शंस की इसी के थ्रू करेंगे। सेकेंड फिल्टरिंग आपकी कीवर्ड बेसिस होगी। ये मैंने फर्स्ट सेशन में बताया है कि पहली फिल्टरिंग हम एक्सट्रीम चॉइसेस के बेसिस पे करते हैं एंड सेकेंड लेवल ऑफ फिल्टरिंग जो होती है वो कीवर्ड के बेसिस पे है। इफ इट इज इन्फ्रेंस तो आपका अप्रोच अलग होगा, इफ इट इज मैसेज, क्रूशल और द क्रक्स, यू विल गो अकॉर्डिंगली, राइट। नाउ स्टार्टिंग विद सेकेंड, इसमें इम्प्लीकेशंस। इम्प्लीकेशन का मतलब होता है ना, हमने जीएस पेपर 1 मेंस में भी देखा होगा आपने, व्हाट कुड बी द पॉसिबल इम्प्लीकेशंस ऑफ फॉलोइंग स्कीम। कोई इंट्रोडक्शन हो रहा है किसी स्कीम का, उसका पॉसिबल इम्प्लीकेशंस क्या हो सकता है। सो बेसिकली इट इज पॉसिबल कॉन्सिक्वेंस और द इफेक्ट। व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज इट इज नॉट डायरेक्टली स्टेटेड एंड पोटेंशियल आउटकम्स, राइट, दीज आर पोटेंशियल आउटकम्स। इसी से रिलेटेड है इम्प्लाइड मीनिंग, राइट। इम्प्लाइड मीनिंग इज समथिंग हम इस पैसेज के थ्रू देखते हैं। Although online education has made learning more accessible, ठीक है, studies show that students learning accessible बन गई है because of online education. Studies they show that students who solely rely on the virtual learning, they often struggle with practical skills and societal interaction. So they are saying that online education से learning accessible तो हुई है, but only if a person relies on virtual learning, they might miss out on the practical skills and social interactions, right? Now, implied meaning का question है, what is the implied meaning of the passage? Online education alone is not sufficient for holistic learning, right? ये जो statement है ये कहीं mention नहीं है, but अगर इसकी implied meaning देखें तो author यही कहना चाहते हैं ना कि अगर उन्होंने ये बिलीव नहीं किया होता देन व्हाई वुड ही मेंशन द सेकंड पार्ट। पहले पार्ट में उन्होंने बताया कि ऑनलाइन लर्निंग से एजुकेशन एक्सेसिबल हो रहा है, बट देन ही इज सेइंग दैट ऑल्दो सोलली इस पे रिलाई नहीं किया जा सकता, राइट, बिकॉज देयर आर सर्टेन लिमिटेशंस टू। सो ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन अलोन इज नॉट सफिशिएंट फॉर होलिस्टिक लर्निंग। नाउ ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन शुड बी कंप्लीटली बैंड। क्या मैं इसको इग्नोर कर सकती हूँ? राइट, इट्स एन एक्सट्रीम ऑप्शन। Virtual learning is the best method, definitely I can say no, because यहाँ पर already virtual learning की limitations की भी बात की गई है। Okay, traditional education is outdated, nowhere it has been said. In fact, अगर मैं passage के second part को देखूं तो they are actually saying that traditional education has to be there with the virtual education. So the important keyword is subtle suggestion from the passage is the implied meaning of the passage. Okay, 3 keywords. First is assumption, second is implications, and third is implied meaning. Right? तीनों बहुत related हैं, इसलिए हमने उनको merge किया हुआ है. Now let's see this. I'll take 2 examples and then we'll switch to the questions of 2023. Investing in education leads to economic growth. ठीक है, they are making a statement कि अगर education में invest किया तो economic growth होगी. Countries that prioritize education, they tend to have higher GDP growth rates. Okay. Now इसमें assumption क्या है? Let's read the statements. सबसे पहली level of filtering क्या करनी है? Extreme options. Now who wants to solve this question with me? Statement 1 eliminate कर सकते हैं? Come on fast. जल्दी जल्दी. You have to keep the time in your head. Only education determines economic growth? No. सबसे पहली बात तो ये extreme statement है, right? Economic growth is impossible. Ignore it. Now we are left with 2 options, option C and option D. C is saying that there's a positive correlation between education and economic growth. Countries with low GDP growth, they do not invest in education. यहाँ एक बात लिखी हुई है that countries that prioritize education, they tend to have higher GDP growth rates. But यहाँ ये second part के बारे में बात नहीं हुई है. They are not talking about this. They're telling this कि जो prioritize कर रहे हैं वो higher GDP growth rates है. But on this information, we cannot say that countries with low GDP growth, they do not invest in education. Why? Again, आपके GS paper 1 का एक understanding यहाँ पर आएगा. Because education is the only factor नहीं है. It is one of the factors. Okay? So we cannot say that statement D is true because we don't have that level of information. ये out of scope है. ठीक है, हमेशा ना यही दो ऑप्शंस आप एलिमिनेट करते हो, एक होता है एक्सट्रीम, दूसरे होते हैं आउट ऑफ द स्कोप, और इसी को हम बोल सकते हैं डिस्टॉर्शन ट्रैप. बिकॉज इट सीम्स, अगर इट साउंड्स टू बी ट्रू, बिकॉज अगर हम पॉजिटिव रिलेशन की बात करें तो नेगेटिव हो सकता है ट्रू लगे, राइट, बट दैट्स नॉट नेसेसरी बिकॉज education is just one of the factors. So the answer is there is a positive correlation between education and economic growth, right? Education leads to economic growth and then it tends to have higher GDP growth rates. Now यहाँ पर वो method apply करो, negation test, and second क्या ये मेरे argument को justify कर रहा है. तो अगर मैं assume करती हूँ step 1 there's a positive correlation and then उसके basis पे yes I can say that author इसी को assume करके ये कह रहे हैं कि education leads to economic growth and countries that prioritize education, तो मेरा statement इससे strong हो रहा है, मेरा argument इससे further strengthen हो रहा है. So this is the assumption, right? The second example is from a 2023 paper itself. ये question हमने already solve किया है in I think last session, जहाँ पर हमने इसका crucial message and crux देखा था. Now read the passage, everybody, and keep the time in your head. We'll keep it 1.5 minutes for this. ठीक है, everybody done with the passage? Reading हो गई? Based on the above passage, the following assumptions have been made, right? Now, which of the above assumptions are valid? Okay. Now, let's see this. एक चीज मैं आपको hint दे रही हूँ. Assumption, although author के mind में चल रहा है, but it would be based on the passage only, ना? Out of the scope, extra information पे नहीं statement को tick करना है. I've got one answer, two answers. Yes, great effort. Okay. Sandeep, would you like to tell me कि why do you think the answer is D? Your answer is correct. Yes. Okay, if I go to the statement 1, collection, processing and segregation of municipal waste, right? ये तीनों चीजों की बात यहाँ पर हो रही है. That is of no doubt. The thing is that they should be managed by government agencies. Should be managed by government agencies. Are they talking about it? Are they really saying it anywhere? They're talking about that कि municipal waste segregation पे rare है. They're talking about recycling, etc. Okay, but they're not talking about the responsibilities कि कौन सा part किसको करना चाहिए. For instance, the second statement, resource recovery and recycling, they require technological inputs best handled by. अगर ऐसा कुछ author assume कर रहे होते then he would have mentioned it somewhere कि recycling में, जब इन्होंने recycling की बात की, he would have included a line on private sector. But definitely I can say कि author के mind में ये दोनों assumptions नहीं थी. अगर ये assumptions होती तो मुझे passage में कहीं ना कोई statement मिलता जहाँ पर ही मुझे explicit दिखता, where he would have said that कि recycling के लिए हमें private sector को involve करना चाहिए, right? या collection, processing and segregation में government का major role होना चाहिए. Nowhere I can find a statement like that जो कि इस assumption को valid करे, right? So these two assumptions are not supporting the main passage or the main argument. That's why the answer is D, neither one nor two. right? The answer is T, neither one nor two. Yes, a lot of you were correct. Yes, Yogita?
मैम वही ऑप्शन का रीजन बता रही थी कि क्यों नहीं है ये राइट।
Okay, okay, ठीक है. Fine, so I think we've got an idea about it कि assumption क्या है, implied meaning क्या है, and implications क्या है. ठीक है. अब हम 2023 का पेपर सॉल्व करेंगे. We'll follow the same format. I'll give you 2 minutes for each question and then we'll proceed. Starting with question number 2, it is about best reflects implied by the passage. What is implied? Please read the passage. Okay, done the reading of the passage? These are the options. What is implied means what is being subtle way में क्या implication या क्या हमें message deliver हो रहा है. Meaning, right? Not that message. Again, पहला level, release the statements which are extreme options. ठीक है, out of the scope, distortion traps. I've got my first answer. Okay, great, great speed. ठीक है. Now it's time to solve the questions. Yes. Okay. Education system must be strengthened in rural areas. What about this rural areas? Are they really talking about something like that? वो overall Indian women की बात कर रहे हैं या Indian men की बात कर रहे हैं? Talking at an overall level? No. Yes, the answer D is correct. Right? Great effort. Large scale and effective implementation of skill development program is need of the hour. Skill development पे are they talking about it? They are
नो
talking
मैम
about,
स्किल डेवलपमेंट मेंशन नहीं है।
yes, it's not mentioned. Actually, it's a distortion because यहाँ उन्होंने highly skilled लोगों की बात की है. But that is एक वो context रख रहे हैं कि एक इंडिया इकोनॉमी अगर knowledge economy है, ठीक है, तो ऐसी इकोनॉमी के लिए we need people who are cognitively very fine, right? That's why they're saying about it. No, it's a perfect example of distortion trap. See, for economic development, health and nutrition of only skilled workers. Again, किसी भी वे में are we getting the statement only skilled workers need special attention? Rather, they are saying that people in general, right, in an knowledge economy, in a highly skilled workers की जहाँ need होती है, workers they are saying, right? They're not saying कि highly skilled workers के हमें बस nutrition की ध्यान रखना है. No, the answer is T. For rapid economic growth as envisaged by us, keeping in view the nature of economy, highly skilled workers needed है. Attention should be paid to health and nutrition of the people. Right? This is the correct answer. Well done, everyone. Yes, जिन्होंने time पे solve नहीं किया है, please improve your speed. इससे ज़्यादा time नहीं लगना चाहिए. Question number 12 we do next. I'm picking up the questions according to keywords. Right, this is a rational assumption. Yes, we have 2 minutes now. Read the passage. These are the options. बहुत easy है ये question because of the options. Yes. Correctly pointed out. A is the answer. Right? Okay. It's the job of the government to solve our environmental and public health problems. Right? Are they really saying it anywhere? क्या ये assumption है? अगर ये author का assumption होता तो why would he have talked about lifestyle changes? Why would have talked about lethargy, collective lethargy towards making choices? Choices की बात क्यों करते अगर वो government का काम होता तो? Right? This is not the assumption. Health can be protected even if environmental problems go on unattended. This is not at all the context. ये एक distortion है because यहाँ दो problems को relate किया गया है. अगर यहाँ statement में lifestyle aspect लिखा होता that health problems जो हैं they can be attended by lifestyle changes. However, environmental problems may not be. Then it could have been correct, right? Then loss of traditional lifestyle. Traditional lifestyle. They're not talking anywhere about loss of traditional lifestyle. They're talking about lifestyle changes. Okay. And most importantly, Western values की बात उसमें हो ही नहीं रही है. अगर ऐसा कुछ assumption होता, then he would have made reference to it in one of the statements at least. So the answer is A. It was a very easy question because of the options. Next question is question number 31. Yes, pick up speed, everyone. Yes. This question we've done, right? हमने अभी किया था जो मैंने आपको एग्जाम्पल की तरह दिखाया था. The answer is D, right? 2023 का क्वेश्चन था वो. The next question is question number 33. Here. This is the passage of the question. Yes. There is a claim that organic farming is inherently safer and healthier. ये भी हमने रीड किया है ये passage in one of the sessions, right? इसमें दो questions हैं basically इस passage में. जिन्होंने प्रीवियस सेशंस नहीं देखे हैं आई वुड रेकमेंड कि वो देखें तो एक कंप्लीट ओवरव्यू मिलेगा आपको, राइट? देयर इज अ क्लेम एंड देयर इज अ रियलिटी चेक. ठीक है. Now they have illustrated this through an example. Done with the reading? These are the options. Based on the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. Which of the assumptions is are correct? Always see the directive keyword. ठीक है. हमेशा इसमें करेक्ट करेक्ट ही पूछता है बट कभी इनकरेक्ट पूछा हो तो वी कैन सी इट. Okay. Yes, Naveen has given the fastest answer. Yes, you're correct. Okay, that's all the question. ठीक है, स्पीड पिक करो, उससे ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं लगना चाहिए. Great, okay, yes. So I'll tell you the answer. Okay, B is the correct answer. Organic farming is inherently unsafe. इसमें क्या गलत है? योगिता, can you tell me?
मैम इसमें ये मेंशन नहीं है कि वो कम्प्लीटली अनसेफ है ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग. इसके कुछ नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट्स बताए हैं जैसे कि लोगों को इसके बारे में अवेयरनेस नहीं है, इस वजह से प्रॉब्लम्स होती है.
True, very well stated. Thank you, Yogita. So this has not been stated as she said, right? We can ignore this. The farmers and consumers, they need to be educated about eco-friendly food. Okay. Now इस assumption को कुछ लोगों को शायद ये अगर समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि how is this an assumption, ठीक है? Consider this as the back of the thought of the author. कि author के दिमाग में ये चीजें, he's assuming this, he's keeping this at the back of his mind, and then वो जो सामने reflection हो रहा है, that is the passage. So definitely he is thinking or he's assuming that he needs to be regulated or educated about eco-friendly food, right? That's why he's talking about the claim and the reality and how it can harm people instead of benefiting them, right? So this is again, एक तो पहला ये तरीका है, दूसरा ये तरीका है कि ये मेरे passage को further strengthen कर रहा है, right? That is why B is the answer. Okay. Now everyone else speed pickup करनी है, yes, ठीक है. Next question, we'll go to question number 35. Same page here. This is the passage. These are the options. See, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस थोड़े टाइम टेकिंग होते हैं बिकॉज आपको यहाँ पर एक स्टेटमेंट नहीं सारे स्टेटमेंट्स को देखना पड़ेगा, राइट? So यहाँ पर एक सजेशन है, स्टेटमेंट नंबर 4 पहले देख सकते हो. स्टेटमेंट नंबर 4 में इसलिए पहले बोल रही हूँ बिकॉज ऑप्शंस में आप देखेंगे कि अगर आपने स्टेटमेंट 4 को एलिमिनेट कर दिया तो यू कैन गेट द आंसर, ऑल्दो पेपर 1 में एलिमिनेशन काम नहीं करता है अब, ठीक है, बिकॉज ऑफ द काइंड ऑफ ऑप्शंस दे आर गिविंग दीज डेज, बट पेपर 2 में इट स्टिल वर्क्स, ठीक है, तो एटलीस्ट हम यहाँ यूज कर सकते हैं. Right, yes, you've got the correct answer. Most of you have answered B, and yes, B is the correct answer. ठीक है, डायरेक्टली मैं स्टेटमेंट 4 में जाती हूँ अपना टाइम बचाने के लिए. एग्जाम हॉल स्ट्रैटेजी, राइट? फॉर द प्रेजेंट मोनोकल्चर एग्रीकल्चर practices, farmers receive subsidies in various ways, and government offers remunerative prices for grains, and therefore they do not tend to consider crop diversity. Is subsidies a concern of the passage or the government offers? Or most importantly, is it the concern of the passage कि monoculture लोग क्यों adopt कर रहे हैं farmers? This is not something getting at the back of the mind of the author, right? In fact, the author के mind में क्या चल रहा है? 2 and 3 में जाके देखता है. Dependence on a few crops has negative consequences for human health and the ecosystem, right? Ecosystem के लिए land, water and food, right? Land quality, etc. And human health is about malnutrition. This must have been the assumption at the back of mind. That's why he's saying that he kya isse negative damage ho. This is strengthening my argument, the passage. Government policies regarding food planning need to incorporate nutritional security, right? This he's assuming. That's why वो इस पे पूरा एक conversation कर रहे हैं. Why is he pointing out that monoculture is leading to nutritional insecurity? Because he is suggesting it. He's assuming that, right? The answer is 2 and 3. Statement number 1 भी देखते हैं. To implement the SDG to achieve zero hunger, they are inevitable even when they do not address. It is completely out of the scope. Right? Nothing like this has been mentioned. Nothing like this can be said from the given information we have. ठीक है, GS knowledge apply नहीं करेंगे. Passage में कितना हमारे पास knowledge है उसके हिसाब से we'll move. Right? Okay. Well done, everyone. Question number 41. here. With reference to the following assumptions have been made correct, right? Please read the passage. It should take 1 minute max. These are the options. Okay, got just one answer till now. Yes, okay. Now go to this. अब देखो ऐसे questions में what can be the strategy? Simply आप दोनों में से किसी एक statement में जो आपको ज़्यादा बेहतर समझ में आ रही है उस पे जाओ, ठीक है? Global warming is causing spring to become early and for longer durations, ठीक है? एक क्या होता है प्रीलिम्स के पेपर में GS1 GS2 दोनों की मैं बात कर रही हूँ. Yes. Okay, you will somebody saying they'll skip. Okay, हाँ ज़्यादा समझ नहीं आ रहा तो you can skip the question. Yes, human, that's a good option, right? Yeah. Most of you have answered as the A, and yes, that is the correct answer. ठीक है. Now a general suggestion for paper 1 and paper 2 both. पहला तो yes definitely कि अगर नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो एटलीस्ट फर्स्ट राउंड में उसको आप छोड़ दो, सेकेंड राउंड में रिव्यू करो फर्स्ट. द सेकेंड इज एग्जाम हॉल में क्या चीज करेक्ट है इस पर हम श्योर अगर नहीं हो पा रहे हैं तो उन चीजों को जब पहले इग्नोर कर दो जो आपको लगता है कि इनकरेक्ट है. देन यू विल बी लेफ्ट विद द ऑप्शंस जहां पर आप श्योर इजी हो पाए. ठीक है. फॉर इंस्टेंस ओवर हियर first statement affirmative है. Yes, this is true according to the passage is causing spring to become early and for longer durations. ठीक है, ये हो सकती है, करेक्ट है, बट मुझे श्योर होकर टिक करना है एक ऑप्शन, राइट? देन व्हाट आई डू इज आई गो टू स्टेटमेंट सेकंड. early spring and longer period of spring is not good for bird population. एक्चुअली वो एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं कि व्हाई इट इज बैड, राइट? व्हाई इट इज हैविंग कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस फॉर दिस farmers and social and ecological consequences. Now they're illustrating this through the example of birds. Okay, the birds don't return and all. They are saying that pollination and all those kind of things are talked about. Bird population पे क्या impact हो रहा है उनके लिए, good है, bad है, it is not going to be the concern of the passage. So I can ignore statement 2. Now अब इतनी श्योरिटी के बेसिस पे I know the statement 1 is correct, so I'll go with the option A. ये आपके पेपर 1 में भी काम करती है अगर ऑप्शंस आपके only 1 only 2 statements are correct नहीं है तो, right? उसको भी कुछ तरीके होते हैं. We discuss that in some other sessions, right? Question number 63. Everybody please pick up speed. फास्ट सॉल्व करना आना चाहिए, अदरवाइज ये जो टाइम यहाँ पर बचता है ये आप कॉन्ट में यूज कर सकते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 63. यस, दिस इज द क्वेश्चन. फार्मास्यूटिकल पेटेंट्स. Okay, these are the options. Which of the above assumptions are valid? You can pick up any statement यहाँ से and then you can go about it, right? This can be one way. और यू कैन डायरेक्टली स्टार्ट फ्रॉम स्टेटमेंट 1, और मे बी जो आपको सबसे इजी लग रही है, या फिर हमें एलिमिनेशन करना है तो एक्सट्रीम ऑप्शंस. Okay, I've got the answers. Okay, let's solve this question. Let's start with statement number 4. Governments, they need to find an appropriate balance between the rights of patentees and the requirements of the patients. Okay? क्या ये assumption author के mind में है? Maybe I can say yes. Why? Because he's talking about that higher prices, okay, from the point of view of the patients, and from the point of view of patentee, he's talking about the R&D cost, right? So in fact, we can say that author किसी एक के side में bent नहीं है, right? Yeah. Those going for B is the correct answer, right? So yeah, but the author is not tilted towards anybody. Rather, he is somewhere in between. And that's why he is keeping this in mind that governments need to find an appropriate balance. Okay? A legally validated, right? So we'll assume it to be correct now. Let's go to this. अब अगर मैंने 4 देख लिया है, तो मैं A और D को एक बार के लिए हटा सकती हूँ. Let's go to 1 and 3. Patent protection gives to patentees, puts a huge burden on public's purchasing power in accessing patented medicines. Right? The author ने बोला ही है, he is talking about the high prices. Right? Now, statement 2. Statement 3 में जाते हैं. Providing medicines to the public at affordable prices is a key goal during the public health policy design in many countries. क्या ये information यहाँ mentioned है? Or is it going out of the scope of the passage? Anybody?
नो मैम, ये मेंशन नहीं है पैसेज में.
Right? Out of scope है हो गया. So we can eliminate C and D. ठीक है? Let's go to again statement 2. ये आप सबसे पहले स्टेप में एलिमिनेट कर सकते थे एक्सट्रीम चॉइसेस और आउट ऑफ द स्कोप.
डिपेंडेंस ऑन अदर कंट्रीज आल्सो नॉट मेंशन्ड इन पैसेज.
यस, डेवलपिंग एंड पुअर. तो एलिमिनेट कर दिया आपने. 2 and 3 if you have eliminated, this is eliminated, this is the answer is B. See, extreme options and out of scope elimination से पहले ही क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो जाएगा. Right? So keep that in mind. It's going to save your time a lot. Got the idea? Now the last question that was asked in 2023 paper from the assumption on this topics were question number 64. Yes. Digital economy. Okay, what's the answer? Okay. Right, इतना टाइम क्यों लग रहा है? Keep it fast. बहुत छोटा सा पैसेज है. Yes. What are you thinking is right? The answer is C. ठीक है, direct है बहुत. Protection of privacy is not just a right, but it has value to the economy. Right? यहाँ पर value to the economy हम कैसे सोच सकते हैं कि author ऐसा assume कर रहे होंगे? Because he is talking about innovation. No one will innovate in a surveillance-oriented environment, right? जहाँ पर individual का personal information is compromised. Innovation. we can relate it to economy, right? Digital economy की बात हो रही है. Okay, so that we can assume easily. There is a fundamental link between privacy and innovation. Definitely ये वाला statement अगर हम read करें कि no one will innovate in a surveillance oriented environment, right, where the personal information is compromised or is it always at stake. There's a direct correlation. So we can say that there's a fundamental link. He's assuming this, and based on that, he's making this statement. So the answer is C, right? So with this, we are done with the 2023 questions on the topic of assumptions, implications, and implied meaning, right? Now, what we're going to do tomorrow is this. Today, we come to the end of our session, right? So with this, I have completed all the keywords that are asked in the paper. Some miscellaneous one or two keyword like the tone of the passage and the corollary that is left. We'll cover those two keywords tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll also solve the questions of 2022 and 21 from the topic of assumption, because this is really important, because most of the questions are being asked from this topic itself. Okay, that is going to be the agenda for tomorrow's session. 2022 and 2021 UPSC papers, reading comprehension section, and tone and corollary keywords. Okay, if anybody is having any doubt, we can cover it right now. Okay, thank you, Yogita, and thank you, everyone. Right, so I'll be seeing you tomorrow, same timing, 3:30 p.m. Okay, tomorrow is going to be the last session, and after that, I'll be giving you a time of a week for practicing everything what you have learned, and then we'll have another session जहाँ हम एक complete practice करेंगे 2024 का paper. 2024 के paper को, okay, I was not able to understand the negation method. Right. So tomorrow, in the tomorrow's passages, I'll illustrate the negation method. Azhar, it's like कि अगर आप statement को negate कर रहे हो, assumption, कोई भी assumption अगर दिया हुआ है, for instance, protection of privacy is not just a right, but it has value to the economy. Or let's say the second statement, there's a fundamental link between privacy and innovation. Okay, if I'm negating this statement, if I'm saying that there is no fundamental link between privacy and innovation, then go to the statement in the passage. कौन सा statement? That no one will innovate in a surveillance oriented environment, right? तो अगर मैं negate कर रही हूँ अपनी second statement को कि कोई fundamental link नहीं है, तो जो मेरा passage में statement दिया हुआ है वो भी weaken हो जाएगा, right? अगर मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि fundamental link ही नहीं है, तो ये कहना कि अब कोई भी इनोवेट कर लेगा ऐसे सर्विलेंस ओरिएंटेड एनवायरनमेंट में, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी इनकरेक्ट, राइट? दैट इज नेगेशन कि अगर आप अपने एजम्पशन को इनकरेक्ट करोगे तो आपका स्टेटमेंट भी इनकरेक्ट या वीकन हो जाएगा. फाइन, गॉट द आइडिया? एंड इन दिस tomorrow's passage now I'll illustrate this to more options, then you will have an idea about it. Okay, Yogita, how can we connect? Tomorrow I'll tell about this, how we can connect. I was also thinking that I'll be maybe giving you some practice questions जो आप next week में practice कर सको. 2024 का paper अभी मत solve करना, like, ठीक है? What we'll do is 2024 के paper को we'll keep a timer based approach. I'll give you some specific amount of time. उसमें आप पूरा paper एक go में solve करेंगे, only the reading comprehension section, and then we'll discuss the answers, right? So this is going to be the agenda for tomorrow and after a week. Okay, so thank you everyone. I'll be seeing you tomorrow 3:30 p.m. same time. Okay, till then, take care everybody. Thank you.